And what up everybody, Anime Junkie, and welcome to part 7 to What If Deku Stayed Quirkless. And now, let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front to get myself a lamb color cuss for the game. Leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feel insane. And it's slowly building flames, building fire from my brain, bringing more to no glory.
Okay guys, before I start, I'd like to say sorry. I went away for 2 days, and I think 2 days, maybe 3 days, I don't remember. But yeah, I stopped recording and stopped uploading for 2 days. I don't know why, but it was probably because of my sleep schedule. It wasn't really that good then, and I was just sleeping all the time, nocturnally. I don't know what that means, but I was sleeping during the day and waking up during the night. So yeah, I couldn't record in the night because my parents were sleeping, and I couldn't record in the morning because I was sleeping. So yeah, it was kind of a big problem, but I ended up fixing it. And now, before we start, I'd like to get some things clear. In the last part, Deku didn't get any credit for actually defeating Stain, but I'm gonna change that up. So he is gonna get credit because he technically doesn't really have a quirk. So yeah, so he doesn't get in trouble, and he does get all the attention and credit. So the basically head of police comes to Ida, and he basically scolds him. He's like, oh, and he actually scolds both Deku and Ida. But then after, when he finds out that Deku doesn't really have a quirk, so he's like, oh, you don't have a quirk, eh? So I think this law doesn't really affect you. And he's like, yeah, of course. So shouldn't I get the credit? Well, he doesn't really say that. Ida was like, no, Deku should get the credit because he doesn't have a quirk, so technically he didn't break the law, and he's gonna be a future hero, so he should get some credit, and it's gonna help him out in the future. So he's like, he's thinking about it. He's like, I mean, you didn't really necessarily break a law, so I guess it's okay. So he basically goes on to this TV, and he tells them, it's like, oh, Hero Killer Stain was killed, or not killed, what am I saying? He was defeated and captured by Izuku Midori. He's one of class 1A's first year students, and he was taken down. He took down Stain, Hero Killer Stain, by himself, because there was no one over there who could help him. Native was already paralyzed. He can't say Ida because he actually used his quirk and was against the law, so he doesn't mention Ida. So he's like, he ran into Stain, and since he doesn't really have a quirk and he's quirkless, you might actually know him from the video like 10 months or maybe 11 months ago. He is the quirkless hero. I mean, he is gonna become the quirkless hero, but he's still studying in UA and trying to become a hero. He's really strong because he ended up defeating Stain, who's killed a lot of pro heroes. So Deku gets recognized by the entire world. He's like, wow, he's so amazing, quirkless hero, amazing. And can you guys tell me what Deku's name should be? Because like quirkless hero, the quirkless hero, whatever name. And just tell me that, because we can't really base his name or superhero name off of a quirk because he doesn't have a quirk. So yeah, actually tell me in the comments below what his name should be, and whichever is the most liked comment, I'll choose that one, and only if it's like suits me well. So if it has like 1,000 likes and I don't really like the name, I wouldn't really choose it because I don't like the name, and I'd rather not create a series where I don't like something. So yeah, I'll probably choose the name that I really like, and if it has the most likes, it's good anyways. So yeah, let's move on. So the next arc is I was gonna say parents versus teacher, but teacher versus student test. And let's get started. Instead of Bakugo being with Deku, it's gonna be Kirishima with Deku because they have a friendly relationship and they're friends, and I think that aspect would go together. I think Bakugo would go with someone else. I'm not necessarily sure who Bakugo would go to. It doesn't really matter. Bakugo would not go against All Might because remember, he doesn't really have a connection with All Might or Deku. Or yeah, so he's not gonna go with All Might. So even if he does go with a different teacher, he's gonna end up winning again because he is stronger. And the only reason he actually didn't win against All Might, I mean, he did win against him, but he had to run away, not the right way. But this time he would actually win against a teacher because that would be a way less weaker teacher than All Might himself. And yeah, it's gonna be way easier, so Bakugo would get through it. So now Kirishima versus All Might versus Deku. or Deku and Kirishima versus All Might. Now here's the tricky part. The reason why this battle doesn't really go well because both of them are close range fighters. Deku is somewhat of a mid-range fighter because he has swords and he also has Aizawa's scarf. So he's somewhat of a long-range, mid-range, or a close-range combat type of person, but Kirishima and both of them are really close range, and that is a really bad matchup against All Might. So the reason why they actually did good is because Bakugo was a long-range fighter, also a mid-range and a close-range fighter, so it was amazing, and the team was really good. So this time they don't really have that, so the only plan they have right now is to escape because they're no way close to All Might's strength. Kirishima, when he's in his hard mode, I think he can only control like 20%, but in his normal form he can control 15%. So it's only a 5% increase, but it's still good nonetheless. So yeah. Oh, and by the way guys, today is gonna be 3 videos. I'm gonna be uploading 3 videos. The What If Deku, or part 3 of What If Deku was born with Ultra Instinct, that's going to be the last video that's going to go up. So as soon as that comes up, you probably already know I'm not going to upload anymore. Not anymore, I mean I'm going to upload tomorrow, but that's it for today. So today's videos are going to be What If Deku stayed Quirkless, this one, What If Deku could use Chakra, and What If Deku was born with Ultra Instinct. That is the 3 videos that are going to come out today, so I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. I'm just making up for the 2 days I'm gone, so yeah. Okay, let's continue. So the strategy that Deku and Kirishima create is basically Kirishima holds off All Might for just a tiny bit longer, but not longer, what am I saying? Just a tiny bit, because he can't really hold him off for a long time because All Might's All Might. So Kirishima tries to hold him back for a little while, and Deku basically puts a harness, not a harness, yeah, basically a harness around his waist of the same scarf that Aizawa has, and their plan is to basically throw Kirishima like a catapult, or like he's throwing like a lasso to a like a cowboy way. So he's basically throwing Kirishima in the air or spinning him and just throwing him at the gate and just hoping that he actually gets there. But this way would actually counteract because All Might would just grab the scarf in the air and would just pull everything. But that is exactly when Deku would appear, and he would plan for this, and he would try to attack All Might and basically move him away from a scarf or anything like that, because he's already thrown it. Deku, if Kirishima is not blocked or is stopped, he's definitely gonna go straight through the gate and they're gonna win. But the only thing he has to do, or Deku has to do, is block All Might until then and just wait for Kirishima to get out of the way. So like Deku feared, All Might tries to go for the scarf that's in the air, and Deku is like, okay, I planned for this, I knew this was gonna happen. So he attacks All Might, tries to hold him back. He's using all the weapons. If All Might tries to punch him, he's gonna block it with a sharp edged weapon so All Might could hurt himself, and the force that he's putting in on a sharp object will come back at him straight back. So All Might knows this, so he's holding back his punches so Deku can't just like fly away because of the force. So he's holding back so he doesn't really get hurt that much. So he's like, damn, you're playing a tricky game. And he's like a porcupine. He's defending from all sides like a porcupine. So if All Might tries to attack in full force, he would definitely damage himself because there's a sharp object like protecting him, which he basically moves around his body because he's like, oh, All Might's gonna strike there, so I'm gonna put the blade there. All Might's gonna strike there, so I'm gonna put the blade there. So he has like 2 blades or 2 katanas or 2 medium-sized katanas in both hands. So because All Might has 2 hands, so he just needs to put his katana or sword anywhere where his other hands are going. So he does that for a short while, and this is a big place. Remember, this is a giant place. So I would say Deku just throws Kirishima to like halfway or maybe more than halfway, so Kirishima can pick himself up and run out of the gate on his own. So I don't think Deku can throw that far. So you'd only throw him like halfway or more than halfway, and Deku or Kirishima only has like 1/4 of the way to go, and Kirishima would just activate his full cowling and run the rest of the way and eventually get to the gate and pass it, and the bell would go up, and Deku's still just acting like a porcupine towards All Might, and he's like, damn this kid. And soon some of the blades would actually break because All Might's just striking them, and they would basically break off because All Might's strong enough to do that. So they would break off, Deku would quickly replace it with a different blade and just continue being a porcupine. So Yeah, and some of the students that are actually watching this, they're actually laughing at how Deku's acting. He's like, oh, he looks like a porcupine. And he's like, oh yeah, they're all laughing. But then the timer goes up. Deku and Kirishima pass because Kirishima passed it really quick because Deku just threw him, and then they started fighting and Deku turned into a porcupine. But yeah, let's move on. So yeah, Deku came first place in the what is it called? I just forgot it. Island. So he has one ticket, actually had 2 tickets, and to bring on somebody else. I don't think he would actually choose Kirishima because Kirishima is going to be going with All Might anyways. So Kirishima already has a ticket, and when Deku goes up to him, he's like, hey, do you want to come with wait, what am I saying? Island with me? And he's like, no, All Might's taking me. He's like, oh, I see. Anyways, I'll take someone else then. And I don't think he would choose Bakugo. Should he choose Bakugo? Yeah, I think he would choose Bakugo. So I think he would choose Bakugo, and he's like, hey, Bakugo, do you want to come with Island to me? He's like, what? Island? Alright, don't the first place winners go there? Don't you have a ticket or a spare ticket? And Bakugo's like, no, I don't want to go with you. And he's like, we can train there, and there's a lot of equipment that can help you out in your hero work. And he's like, oh, damn it. Whatever, I'll go. And I think Deku would choose a formal uniform for Bakugo because they said that. And he's like, fine, I'll bring a formal uniform for you. He's like, well, I don't want one. And he's like, no way, I'll bring it to you, don't worry. And he would pack one or pack an extra one. And he knows Bakugo the most, or the most, because than anyone else. So he knew what colors he would want. And he'd choose the same one because Kirishima also chose that one. So yeah. So they would get there. The class is also there because of Momo. There she got like extra tickets for the entire class. Mineta and Kirishima would actually be there for work. They're gonna be there. Tenya would just be there because he's Tenya. So yeah, Todoroki would also be there because yeah, he's the son of the second hero, so, or the number 2 hero, so of course he's gonna be there. So they get there, they do that test thingy where like they have to defeat robots, and Kirishima would be the one who would actually meet Melissa because they're like, oh, you're All Might friend or whatever. But yeah, she would give Kirishima the same gauntlet because she would actually find out through the testing that Kirishima's holding back, and I think it hurts his body whenever he uses his quirk. So it's just like All Might. So she would give him the gauntlet. It's like, oh, thanks, Melissa, and whatever. But if you want me to, oh yeah, I just forgot. Okay, so Kirishima and everything happens normally, and when she actually meets Deku, he's like, oh my god, you're the Quirkless hero, right? He's like, I'm not a hero yet, but I want to be a hero. But yeah, I am Quirkless. He's like, I'm Quirkless too. And it's like, whoa, really? And it's like, awesome. And they basically hijack the entire place. It's like, okay, Kirishima, nice talking to you, but I'm gonna talk to Izuku-chan or whatever, Izuku-kun or whatever. But they basically start talking. It's like how hard their life was being Quirkless and stuff. But then they cheer each other up. He's like, oh, it's nothing, because I'll represent and be a beacon for everyone who's Quirkless. And they'll have a romantic relationship. He's like, man, oh, and I'm sorry guys, I was actually gonna include Melissa in the story way earlier, before like somewhere close to the sports festival, but yeah, I actually kind of forgot that, so I'm gonna include it right now. And it's like, I was actually gonna go to the sports festival to meet you, but I couldn't really go because my dad gave me some extra work and I needed to finish that, and I needed to help my dad out, so I had my own stuff to do. But now I can finally meet you and I'm so happy. And soon after this trip, I'll be going home with you guys, so I'll be living in Japan now. It's like, oh really, that's interesting. And then it's like, I don't really have a house to stay. And do you guys want me to make Deku make Deku have a house, or basically stay with Melissa? So not stay with Melissa, or Melissa stay with Deku, because you know she doesn't really have a home to stay in. But maybe, anyways, but she might actually have a house. But then she would basically say, oh, if Izuku-kun is actually giving me an offer to stay in his house, so I might actually cancel my hotel reservations or whatever. But yeah, if you want me to do that, I can do that for you. But yeah, let's go. Oh wait, it's 30 minutes. Anyways, hope you guys like, because it really does help the channel out. Hope you guys like this new romantic twist I'm adding to this story, because I'm adding Melissa and Deku together. So if you do like that shipping nonsense that everybody else does, which I don't really call it nonsense because I like it too, but if you do like that stuff, I am willing to do that. And if you want me to do anime like Ryan Trunky stuff, the one that he does with Momo and Deku, I can do that. I'm pretty good at that, but I don't really show it that much because you guys probably don't want to watch it. But yeah, hope you guys like it because it really does help the channel out. Make sure to subscribe to join the family. Hit the bell icon for my future videos. And as always, Anime Junkie out.